All right. It's going to be a good one. All right, y'all. It's your boy G alongside Alec. Another great episode of Section 300. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, follow us online at Section.300 on IG and TikTok. Section 300 Sports on Twitter as well. A lot of good content going up on all pages. As you can see, we're joined by a legend today. One of the kings of NBA Twitter, the king of NBA Twitter right now, actually, King Josiah Johnson. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Good to be back, fellas. How y'all doing?
Absolutely glad to get this right. We actually did this a couple of years ago, trying to piece it together. Had a little technical difficulties, but glad we got you back on here and can work some things out. So yeah, just again, appreciate you for being here.
Let's get it. Let's do it.
Absolutely. And first off, I want to say I saw you tweet just a couple of days ago. You said from henceforth address you as NAACP Image Award winner Josiah Johnson. Love what you did with that show. Congrats on that. It was amazing to see.
Appreciate it. I can't take
involved in that.
I can't take credit for all that. I just kind of did that jokingly, but shout out to Ava DuVernay, Colin Kaepernick, Michael Starberry, and the rest of the team on Colin in Black and White for the NAACP award win. It's tremendous, man. I never really won no award like that. So when it came down, we knew we were nominated. Had a bunch of other great shows in the category. So to be able to get that as my first award, I text Michael Starberry, who was the showrunner on that show, to tell him thank you so much for giving me a NAACP award. And it was funny, man, when we were in the writers' room working on the show, I was like, man, I don't even care if we get nominated for Emmy as long as we get a BET award or NAACP award. So I already got it. And, I got the first one on the mantle. I'm an EGOT away from being an EGOT, so I'm just trying to really keep grinding.
That's awesome, man. And just love what you're doing and continuing to expand your brand beyond what we know you to do on social media and seeing what you're doing there. Just is production and going that route and getting involved in shows and all that and continue to be the path you go, or you focus more on the social media still?
Honestly, it's funny because when I first got in this game, I hated social media. I hated being on Twitter. I hated all the different platforms. I thought there was a waste of time, and I didn't really see the value in it. But now that I'm actually making money doing these things, it's literally could become my job. So I see the value in it, and being able to link up with people like yourselves, who are obviously out here doing great work with the pod, and just building content in the internet in the entertainment side. But for me, yeah, like writing and all that stuff is great. Being a part of shows like Colin in Black and White, and also did another show with Ava called Cherish the Day that's coming out on OWN Network soon. Being in those things is great, but it's also cool to get paid to do stuff I'm already do, like tweet during the Super Bowl or tweet during a basketball game or watch March Madness. So people in life, they always give you the advice, do what you love. As long as you do something you love, it'll never be a job. And for me, I'm just a Twitter dude. So I look at people like Jesus and Mero, people like Dragonfly Jones and LeJethro Jenkins, and other people, Jasmine Watkins, other people that have been able to build careers out of kind of just their tweets and their content and things like that. So I'm just going to keep grinding out, doing wherever the bag is at, that's where you'll find me. I got kids to feed, I got a family, so I'm going to try and just stay as diverse as possible, have as much stuff going on as possible.
Love it. You got a question there?
Yeah, man, you're definitely all over. We see you all over the social media space, and now getting into shows as well. We see the show with Gilbert Arenas on Food and Sports. We've been big fans of that, and saw you recently interviewing Aya from the Bulls at All-Star Weekend. What was All-Star Weekend like in Cleveland?
From LA, y'all know it's hard to leave the comfy confines of 80+ degree weather. Like just coming off a Super Bowl week where it's 85, 90 degrees, and LA kind of just showed the world the best that it had to offer. Now going to like 13, 12 degree Cleveland definitely wasn't something I was super duper excited about, but had a great time out there. We did a bunch of shows for No Chill. We did like 5 episodes. Got Io in there, who when you see these guys from afar, you obviously have a tremendous amount of respect for them. Right. But just to get to talk to them, it's so cool to see guys that are young and don't even realize how good they're going to be and how great their careers are going to be and how humble he was. He came through with his whole family, mom, pops, bunch of, other relatives. They were all chilling there with him. So for me, it was just cool to see the support that he has, kind of his first All-Star Weekend experience. And he had the thumb injury in the game, but he was good to go. So we kind of got that stuff. But love working with Gil, man. He's a tremendous dude. And just being able to be around him, man, is so fascinating. I'm so fortunate to be able to do it. Obviously, he's an LA guy, Valley guy. Yeah. But just a genius, and I don't use that term lightly. Just when you talk to him and his basketball knowledge, savvy, I mean, I feel like he had a definitely a negative reputation, kind of some things that happened during his career. Right. But anybody you talk to as a teammate, minus one or two people who I'm sure you've seen the beef going on social, we'll just speak about how high, speak highly of Gil and just how amazing of a dude he is on and off the court. So had a good time out there. Honestly, got to go see the first episode of that new Lakers series, Winning Time. Okay. They had a little premiere function up there. So it was a really good time. Got to go to the dunk contest, all that stuff. Got to see that mid-dunk contest live. Had the memes flowing. But it was a good time. Honestly, we kind of bashed Cleveland, but I think as a city, it was great. Everything was centrally located. Ubers were a little bit of an issue, but we kind of worked our way around that, figured it out. And like I said, it's cold weather. So LA, when they front on you when you get to the club, they make you wait in line and stuff. You can do that if it's 60, 70 degrees outside. Right. When it's 12 degrees, like, am I getting in or not? Because if not, I can't. I'm not politicking. I'm not trying to holler. I'm moving on to the next spot. I need that warmth and stability. But man, it was a good time. Great All-Star weekend. Great to see LeBron come back. Obviously, the season hasn't been going, as everybody would hope. But great to see him back out, hit that game winner. Steph, obviously, going ham on, I think, 16 threes, whatever he ended up doing in the game. It just, they work well as teammates. I think some of us were hopeful and optimistic that maybe Steph would consider moving down south, but didn't end up happening. So here we are.
Right. And actually, we'll circle back to that. But we started talking about the show you're doing with Gilbert Arenas. And my question with that is just we started to see recently a resurgence of a lot of former athletes just embracing content. What do you think of all these athletes, Gilbert Arenas and Richard Jefferson and others that are big online everywhere who are embracing just content and creating their own platforms?
I mean, it's great to see. I think, you never want to say the market is flooded, but everybody has a unique perspective to add. Obviously, me and Gil show isn't going to be like Knuckleheads. It's not going to be like all the smoke. Right. Q Rich and Darius got their joint. Matt and Stack got their joint, but everybody's kind of coming in doing cool stuff and getting to show their personalities and getting to. For me, it's just cool. Like, I'm just a fan. So when I get to sit with Gil and hear him having these elaborate basketball combos, or hear him get to give Io or CP3 or Kuz, just them going back and forth and seeing, just from that hooper mentality. I never played in the league, so I'm not going to sit up here. You watch a lot of shows. Sometimes the guys try to act like they know what that life is like. I don't. So I'm more like a fan. Like, when they find you, how do they find you? When you got a drug test, like, who tells you? Like, how, just things like, how do you find out you're getting traded? Just stuff that we always read about and see, but never really understand on that side. Like, guys will be finding out information on Twitter like the rest of us. Like, oh, damn, I got traded. I'll hear the rumor there before I know it gets confirmed. But just to be a part of that and just to work, and I see, man, so many talented people out there that are doing a lot of amazing, good stuff. So athletes, non-athletes, people like yourself, everybody, man, I just encourage you to get in the game, learn, grow, avoid kind of the toxic nature that comes with a lot of this stuff. Everybody doesn't want you to succeed. Everybody doesn't want you to shine. A lot of miserable people out there. So just stay above that, but just have fun with it, man. This is a great time to be a content creator. Like, never been this accessible to be able to do so. If you look at stuff like StreamYard, which we're on right now, where you could broadcast, and back in the old days, you had to go up to a network, pitch them a show, convince them that you were worth their time, energy, and money. A lot of times that was not going to happen. Now you can really run your numbers up on social, do things like this, and create opportunities for yourself. So I'm a big fan of people doing that. And we're seeing, somebody like Gil, now this is the third season of his show, was fortunate to come jump on, and he's doing amazing shows even before that. But just to be able to, be around him and talk to him and understand his opinions on life and culture and everything like that. And the same thing with all these other guys out there too. So I encourage everybody, get in the game, learn. If anybody got any questions, feel free to hit me up. I love helping people out, love seeing people do well, man. So I think it's we don't need to all be in competition with each other. We all have a lot of unique and different perspectives to offer the world. So definitely not like, oh man, I'm beefing with all the smoke guys. Me and Matt Barnes went to UCLA together. So I'm cool with Matt Stack. Love watching their show. Love watching Knuckleheads. Love watching No Chill with Gilbert Arenas as well. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's funny that you just mentioned UCLA too. I was going to ask you just what your experience was like playing UCLA basketball. I'm a UCLA fan myself. My parents went there. Okay. We're both U of A alums, so we're kind of rivals of UCLA.
Well, hey, y'all turn up though. I mean,
real good time.
Kicking with Will and Richard Jefferson and Channing and all these dudes and hearing the stories about the stuff they used to get off. So UCLA, amazing school, right? For my money, the best athletic university on the planet. I think we got the most national championships. I don't know if that's still the case. I think Stanford might got us on some janky sports that we won't mention. But when I look at a school like U of A, though, compared to UCLA, like UCLA was great, but Heart of Westwood, Bel Air, Beverly Hills, all these, rich, ostentatious places that surround it. So the rent is high as a mug. Like, it's, what I mean? It's like, I don't know what it was now, but when I was in school, it was like 2-bedroom was running you like $2,500. So everybody had to share, you go roommates, all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. But I look at a school like U of A, I want to say y'all rent was like $300-400 for a 1-bedroom. So you just living the life out there, really turning up, getting it,
It was all right.
But, and UCLA, you competing with, you got the Playboy Mansion, you got Sunset, you got Hollywood, you got all these different things. You're not even, where other schools you get to be a big fish in a small pond. We were big fishes, but you go to the club at Sunset, Jamie Foxx is there. I'm sitting here watching the Kanye doc. It's crazy, like, because Kanye was doing all that stuff when I was at UCLA. So there's literally, like, they show clips of him in, like, the local Denny's where we used to all go, late night to get our grub on. And he's in there trying to convince people that he's a good rapper. And it's like, if it would have been, I'm pretty sure around those times I had to have crossed paths with Ye and not even realize kind of who I was dealing with back at that point, just in the club scene or whatever. But that's what the one thing it does offer you. We got, summertime, you get all the pros that come back, all the opportunity, great run, great alumni base. And the campus, springtime at UCLA, you can't beat it, And I know U of A, y'all probably have some similar stuff cracking, but it's 80, 90 degrees out in LA. We can go hit the beach. We can go do whatever, get in the gym.
We don't have the beach out of U of A.
Yeah, exactly. Pool parties. I know y'all be having them turned up pool parties. So as long as there's some water around, you're good to go. But now, I think for my money, UCLA is the best school on the planet. And I really appreciate it. I would use the term play loosely whenever I go there because I'm like, if you look up the stats, you're gonna be in for some disappointment if you were hoping for a lot of bucket getting. But strategic bucket getting, got strategic buckets when they needed to be gotten, and just had a great time. Also was dominating the nightlife out there back in the day. So
you were big on team chemistry. I'm sure.
You already know.
Yeah.
Doing my job.
You've been paying attention to the UCLA team this year.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of them. Obviously, we beat you guys at home. It's funny. I went with so a producer, No Chill, a guy by the name of Danny Corrales used to work on The Jump, a U of A alum as well. So we went to the game in Poly, and we beat you guys. But I was telling them that game, like, we didn't beat you. You guys beat yourself. You guys
it was a weird game for us.
Playing terrible, missing easy shots, just stuff that I knew. I was like, you're probably going to get us at McHale next time we play. We'll see what's going to happen in the rubber match. Hopefully, it's Pac-12 championship. We get to link up again and really do it for the money this time. But love what Mick Cronin is doing over there and the culture he's distilled in these guys. Johnny Juzang, Jaime Jaquez, David Singleton, just crew. Jay Kyman was my favorite. I think he needs to get more burn, but that's just me personally. Love what Tiger Campbell's doing in the backcourt as well, being a good floor general, knocking down threes. And this is a squad that I think surprised a lot of people last year in the tournament. Probably didn't deserve to get on. I think they were in the first four and got to the final four, which I don't know how many times that's happened in history, but now everybody knows, so they got the targets on their back. So they stumbled a little bit early on. I want to say they had the longest stretch of, like, not playing because of COVID. They missed, like, 26, 27 straight days without games, like, back. Because I was on my way to Vegas to go to a North Carolina game and turn up and clown some UNC, baby, Blue Carolina Blue. And that joint got canceled. So they're kind of getting their bearings back together. It's funny, man, because y'all know the Pac-10 schedule forever was always Thursday, Saturday. Then they started Wednesday, Sunday in it. But now these dudes, because of the pandemic and everything, they got games Monday, whatever. We'll look up some days, oh, damn, they're playing tonight? I completely forgot. Like, they had a Washington game. They rescheduled all these games, playing these random times. But I think team is starting to really get sharp at the right time, and it's going to be exciting to see. I'm excited to see both of us in the tournament. Last year I think we all kind of rallied behind each other with the back-to-back thing. So as long as we're not playing each other, I'm rooting for y'all. Hopefully y'all root for us too.
Absolutely.
Kinda. Y'all two are both UCLA guys. I like SC. I'm not gonna lie. I let you do your stuff off, and I'll be quiet and let you talk your stuff. But I like SC, so I hope it makes some noise too. We'll see.
I like LA hoops, so that's the thing, man. As a UCLA alum, everybody's like, "Oh, y'all got beef with SC?" Yeah, we got beef when we play. But this thing I always tell people, like, I don't want USC to lose every game and then we beat it. Like, that's everybody just beat y'all. That's not. We want, like, number one versus number two. That's what we would love to see.
You want that strength of schedule.
You want them to really go at each other. Them games to be turned up and exciting. So I'm never really prescribed to that kind of logic or I want them to lose all their because if they lose, then that's gonna mess up the whole ranking of the pack and that's gonna mess up our stuff. So I want them to go smack every other conference. But then when y'all come to Poly, y'all gonna see about us this Saturday. Y'all already know what's going on.
Got you. So you talked about the great culture that UCLA and that basketball team is establishing. And I hate to make this term, but a culture that's struggling right now is our Lakers right now. What do you think about the squad and how they're kind of spiraling at the moment?
I think, man, it's been look. We know when the Westbrook trade happened, everybody was crowning them and saying they were making the finals. I think I kind of jokingly just get into all that stuff, but I'm at a point in my life where I just don't care. I just kind of enjoy. I've seen LeBron play since he was a rookie all the way to now. I've seen the ebbs and flows of his career. Like, I didn't think necessarily, this is just a guaranteed championship squad. I knew they were going to have some chemistry issues. Yeah. Obviously, AD going down and not, it's kind of one of those situations where we saw it last year when he tried to come back in the postseason against the Suns. We were about to take that 3-1 lead. He gets hurt. I remember I'm doing a show with Channing Frye, I believe, before game 5 or 6 when AD tried to come back. And Channing's watching him in warm-ups, and he's just like, yo, man, this dude's not going to play. Like, he's done. I'm just like, what you mean? He's like, he's done. Like, look at him, bro. He's not even going hard in layup lines. He didn't even broken a sweat. He's going to try and get out there, but he don't got it in him. So it's been tough. I think they've had like 30 different starting lineups. Kendrick Nunn, still don't know if he's going to – at this point, like, dog, it's Mark. Black History Month over. We still haven't seen Kendrick Nunn. Obviously DeAndre Jordan and them making that move, which is interesting because I think he's going to go to the Sixers, right, which now, he's leaving what should have been a contender to go now to a contender in Philly, which is tough. But I'm holding out hope, man. I think the thing about this season has been a little wonky and funky, but if this squad can get even just somewhat healthy with a couple of games left to go in the season, I think we're in that single elimination mode, unfortunately, kind of in that playoff spot. But if there's anybody I'm ever going to root for and believe in, it's LeBron in this squad. And I'm a big Russ fan, Russ a UCLA guy. Obviously, I know he hasn't put his best foot forward so far this season, but Russ is also a guy that improves as the season goes along. He seems to be playing a lot more comfortable, a lot more within himself now, a lot less of kind of he did have that 7 turnover game before the Mavs game. Mavs game, you feel like he kind of righted the ship. But it's tough, man. From game to game, it's tough. Like, you're watching the Mavs game Tuesday night. They got like a 5-6 point lead. But damn, LeBron still got a sub out. He still hasn't gotten his fourth quarter. He still hasn't gotten his fourth quarter break. Yeah. Subs out right away. He comes back in. He's janky. He's getting, busted by Luka. It's just, and it's tough now as Lakers fan because every game these type of things are going to happen. They showed that resolve down 21, come back, take the lead. Everybody's hype. All right, this is going to be, we're going to turn the season around. Yeah. And then it's right back to, just those miserable moments where it's like 30 seconds left to go in the game. That joint's over. Or it's a bang play, and you already know they're going to review it, and the other team's going to get the rock like the foot out of bounds. The other, I'm just like, come on, man, you can't overturn that. That's that's inconclusive, but
yeah, man,
that's how it be. So hopefully, they'll gear up. I know they got a tough schedule with this remaining games, but I'm never one to turn my back on Bron. I've been a loyal, faithful Bron fan this far. Got me 4 rings, 4 Finals MVPs, 4 regular MVPs. They're going to be all right as long as they can get in. As long as they finish top 10, which is great with this new format. I think they can win 2 in the play-in, and I predicted today that they could win a playoff series. So I'm gonna stand by that. And everybody's like, "Oh, that means they're gonna be playing the Suns or the Grizzlies." Like, yeah. So it is what it is.
I saw you say that on the Take Master show. I like that show you got with Adam Lefkoe there. Definitely a fun one. So that's what I was gonna ask you about, and we'll see how that plays out. We had a debate, just taking a little bit of a step back, but still talking about LeBron, just about his legacy with the Lakers right now. There are folks that are already looking at what he's done with the Lakers so far and talking about if he were to leave the Lakers, would he get his jersey retired, or if he were to get a statue? Do you think he's on track for either of those for the Lakers, or is that still going to be just a Cavs thing he gets?
I mean, that's up to Jeannie Buss. I will say this, when you look about the Lakers, the kind of end of Kobe's run and the post-Kobe years were tough, no playoff appearances. Obviously, LeBron's first year, I think he had the hamstring injury that knocked them out of the postseason. Before that, they were 4th in the West. Not to say that they were going to win a championship, but that was a playoff team right there. Come back in the bubble, win a championship. And it's funny, man. Everybody win a championship in the bubble. Oh, that don't count. Disney, bubble ring, whatever. It was like, damn, if it was a bubble ring, where's everybody else's bubble ring?
Exactly. Like, it would have counted if your team won, for sure.
If it was so easy, it was just easy for LeBron. Oh, in every factor they're telling me, they don't include him. Hold on 1 second. I gotta pop and get this room service real quick. Y'all get to see real life on the road. Give me 1 second. They said 40 minutes. They came in 15. I never seen that before.
Dang, that's that good service. All right, then.
Atlanta. But back to what I was saying, man. I think this squad, and what LeBron got going on, does he deserve a statue or whatever? Even when people get into those conversations, like, who cares, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, he did bring LA a championship. I think when you look at his time here, of course you want to win a championship every year. Every team does. But that's just not how this game works. So at the end of the day, the Lakers and the Bucks are the only teams to win championships in these 2020s. So I would say that it's not the greatest. It's not everything obviously you ideally would hope for. But let's not sit here and act like they didn't win a chip. At the end of the day, we played to win championships. He hung a banner up. Same thing when he came back to Cleveland. I'm coming here to win. When he first came to LA, he's Hollywood now. He don't really want to be here. He's just trying to be in movies, Space Jam. He's not about winning, whatever. Goes to the bubble. And people will clown this, but, everybody tries to act. It's always people who don't hoop that try to act like, that was easy or whatever. Like, you leave your family for months in the middle of a pandemic and go stay at Disney World. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about the mental psyche and the psychological toll that'll have on you. These guys, LeBron, he got a baller crib in Brentwood. He's got to be relegated to a nice size hotel room, but this is where you're living your life for the next 3 months. Like, y'all been to camps and stuff growing up. Like, by the 4th or 5th day of basketball camp, you burnt out. Like, I'm ready to get back home. Like, I'm trying to get back to the family, whatever, get back to my normal confines. Can't go to the club, can't do what they like to do. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what type of seasonings and hot sauces they had at their disposal at these different events.
Right.
And for them to come out and do it, again, if it was so easy, how come your team didn't easily go win that championship that was so easy to win,
Yeah, I mean, the A Disney and the Mickey jokes are hilarious as
They're
jokes.
funny.
But I mean, you got to give them credit where credit is due. They were the 1 seed going in before the bubble as well, too. They were dominant that 2020 season regardless. It hurt. They didn't win it all. So.
Obviously, and all the unfortunate stuff that go on the pandemic, but when it happened, it's just like, oh man, they're about to win a championship. Like, we got to hold this off for like 3 more months. This is like, like, damn, the basketball guys are not messing around. But then LeBron was like, fuck that, we're going to the bubble, dog. And if you want or don't, but we playing this season, we getting the season done. So look, they got the chip. We'll see how they perform this year. I wouldn't say all is lost just yet. This is a squad that'll definitely surprise you in the playoffs, especially if they get a squad like the Grizzlies, who I'm a fan of Ja and everything the Grizzlies got going on, but they just don't have the experience. And playoff basketball is much different than regular season basketball. And I want to say they may be overextending themselves a little bit too much in the regular season, which obviously winning is a great feeling and you want to keep that going. Yeah. But you also got to be mindful now. Once you come to the postseason, dudes ain't messing around.
Yeah, they got their chest puffed out a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to circle back to the credential talk?
Oh, sure. Just something that we've talked about. We've talked about how basketball players and athletes are all embracing content and doing their thing there. And that has kind of made them, I wouldn't say it's a battle, but we see folks kind of going at other sports content creators that may have not actually played the game. So I just wanted to know what you think about the value of the credentials today. Like, do credentials you still have to you have to really know the game to talk about it, or can you be a fan up in Section 300 and still be allowed to voice your opinion?
I think if you do the necessary research and everything, I'll never be one to knock people for not playing. I will say that there is a lot that you learn from actually playing in the game. And you see kind of sometimes perspective of people who don't play that don't really have an understanding that these guys are humans and they deal with life issues, practice issues, whatever. Like, y'all are athletes. Y'all know when your body's tired or physically, mentally, whatever, It's a strain. They play the video game and they just think, oh, well, in the video game, he's always at 99% overall. And he never falters. But in real life, that's not the case. So as long as people have a healthy respect for the game and come from it from that perspective, like I mentioned before, when I do the show with Gil, I didn't play in the NBA. I played in college. That's a high level. That's not NBA, as we all know. Mm-hmm. So when they're having NBA convos, I'll never try to infuse or inject myself into those conversations because I'm a fan at this point. Like, yo, what's that like? You know what I mean? I want to just know from that perspective, having not done it. I feel like a lot of people in this space try to operate as if, like, well, if I was taller, I could be in the league. Like, nah, you would get busted, dog. Like, you would get dusted no matter if you were 7'1" or your current height, whatever it is. So I think that when the arrogance comes in and a lot of, I see a lot of guys, especially in the black community, I see a lot of talented people like Rashad Phillips who hooped at the, baller, played overseas, had Detroit's record until it was recently broken for points scored. I remember I met him. We knew each other on Twitter, but he came out a year or two ago and we were hanging out. And I'm just like, damn, I remember when he was at Detroit Mercy because they played UCLA. And I want to say they got him in the tournament. But I was like, who's this dude that looks like AI that's just busting our ass this whole game? And, that's him. So, but when he takes an opinion, a lot of people will try and shit on him and stomp down on him. And he's a guy that, look at his Ja Morant take. He was on Ja before anybody. Ja should be the number one pick. He got crucified for that. Big Trey fan. Trey's, not kind of, and you just see these things and how people come at him. Then next thing you know, Trey's in Eastern Conference Finals
Right.
Exactly.
And nobody has anything to say. Oh, well, okay. And yeah, they're struggling a little bit this year. Again, that's the ebbs and flows of basketball. So I think as long as you come in respectful and actually trying to learn, but there's a lot of people that got this like snooty ass attitude where they're kind of condescending in their takes, and but I think it's more just their insecurities. Like when you're insecure, that'll lead you to you want to speak up and puff your chest out and do all types of shit because you're full of shit. Where when somebody like myself, like, look, like I'm just gonna give my take to agree or don't. I don't really care, but I'm not gonna sit there on some high horse like I know everything. You got to be willing to learn, also willing to admit, like, yo, yeah, that shit I said about whoever, yeah, that didn't make sense, and I was wrong about it.
Yeah.
And we live in a world, especially on social, where nobody wants to admit they're wrong about anything.
Yeah, especially the talking heads on those shows. That like, I think they talk about take integrity, where you have to kind of like stick with your take, but a lot of times they're not willing to say when they were wrong blatantly, even when the data is right in front of them. So
it's like Floyd Mayweather. Like Mayweather, I got the winning number. Look at all this stack of cash. He's not posting the losers, though. Oh, yeah, I bet 50 racks on this and lost, and I bet on this and lost. Like, no.
Right.
Anybody, it's like that. It's that image you can project on social. Like back in the day when I was younger, I didn't really have it. I saw a Bentley parked on the street. I might go take a picture near it and pretend like it's my car. Things like that you can give the impression that you're doing a lot when you're not. So, it is what it is. But I say as long as people respect it, do the work, put in the necessary research, everything else, because basketball is such a complicated sport. On the surface, it's just 5 guys going 5-on-5, but you look at analytics and all that type of stuff and how it breaks down and it formulates and it structures the game, man. It's an interesting thing to see, like stuff we didn't have when I was coming up. Like I remember I played for Ben Howland at UCLA, and he was one of the first guys that leaned more towards true shooting percentage, as opposed to, like we were playing like Salim Stoudemire, and he was giving us his 3-point percentage, but what that means from 2. Like, he's shooting 50-some% for 3, but that's like 70-some% for 2. So, just stuff like that was like back in those days. It was like shit, whatever. It's like
that's pretty early on the curve for Howland back then. Yeah.
Because we see these things now, like everybody, Russ got a better field goal percentage than Steph. Like, okay, technically, but when you factor in 3 points in the value and weight it accordingly, like, no, that's not the case. But for a meme and to get the jokes off and whatever to piss people off, yeah, you can do that.
Got you. So yeah, kind of the same approach that you take, just stepping back and listening and learning. We do the same thing. I will jokingly say I've seen folks online joke about the left hand layup challenge. You seen people joking about that?
No, I love it.
Hey, I passed that challenge at least. I could do that, so I'm cool. And
that's all we ask. Like, you don't need to play in the league. I think it's a simple thing though, like because you get guys out there that have never hooped and they're talking about X, Y, or Z, and it's like, dog, you can't even do the fundamentally basic. Imagine if I went to a tech company, I was talking about whatever. I went to a whatever company, I was talking a music company, like, we got to do it like this. And everybody's like, you can't even sing a song. You can't even, you don't even know chord progressions or whatever. Like, just do the basics. If you get the basics in, you'll be respected. And it's funny, like every time he tweets that, if he tweets a questionable Andre Drummond take or whatever, Ether, hey, post a video of yourself making a left hand layup. It's cricket time. Like, that's too many takes. That's like 27 takes.
Yeah, I love that. So it's very interesting to see how folks are maneuvering through that, and I hope that just the talk can stop being so combative. We can all just embrace and just have a positive sports talk going forward. So yeah, definitely appreciate you on that. I'm kind of following that. Someone that does have credentials to the nth degree was Kobe Bryant, and it was actually rumored or discussed a couple of days ago. Charles Barkley said he was going to be on TNT. Potentially, he was going to be on there with Shaq and those guys as one of the guests. How do you think that would have played out? Him being on that TNT crew.
I think Kobe and Shaq in that situation. This is the thing you see a lot about, like guys on the court may not necessarily get along, but off the court, there's never really like just the occasional beef, but more or less guys will rock with each other if it's a funny, lighthearted setting. But guys are super competitive. But I think Kobe would have dominated with that crew. His perspective, his insight. I'm even watching like his detail show on ESPN, just what he sees. And that's the thing, even with a guy like Gil, that fascinates me. The way these guys can just see the game, know what's going on. I remember the famous story about Kobe shooting on the rim, and he's like, "Yes, a quarter of an inch, too low." And it's like, how in the hell would you know that and be right about it? Like, because I see I've done this a million times, and I see the way that it whatever. But so I think he would have brought a lot to it, and you would have saw another side of Kobe. I think Kobe in the league and during his playing time was super serious. Obviously, the Mamba mentality I think kind of ruffled some feathers with the media and what have you. But I think we were seeing kind of in his second act, Kobe was a funny dude, had a lot of great humor and just great things to add and value to add. So obviously I think he would have had a Hall of Fame career on that side as well.
Has there been an athlete for you that's been like your favorite interview so far, or someone that you really want to interview?
CP3 probably, and I'll just say this: I didn't have a gauge on CP3. I think CP3 kind of has, mixed feelings about him. People are hot and cold on him.
Yeah, I'm a resident CP3 hater, but
I respect exactly. and you look at a guy with 16 season now, 17 season, whatever he's doing, and it's been tough. You think about that 3-1 Rockets or 3-2, whatever it was, when they just had to win one game and he gets the hamstring injury. He's battled a lot of injuries that have been unfortunate in his career, but the guy's a leader. And just being able to sit down with him, talk to him, look him in the eyes, and just hear his stance on things and just how he approaches life. And also, when he got traded to OKC, let's just be real. Everybody thought he was cooked. Like, they thought the Thunder were done. Like, oh, he's about to just go waste away, and, we're never going to hear from him again. Had them at like a 4 or 5 seed, does the same thing with the Suns, changes the culture there. And the Suns were obviously on target to start making that jump kind of with Aiden and D Book, but he got to a whole nother level where now they're the number one team in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? It's not anything that anybody could have sat back a couple years ago and be like, all right, the Suns might be good. They might be top 4 or 5, whatever. They're not running the league like this, 4 or 2 games away from winning a championship. So I got a tremendous amount of respect for him just as a human being and being on that show. And also guys like Kuz, who they're just guys I'm fans of, man. Like, everybody kind of loves the superstars, but I just love dudes who are in the league and just guys that stick and work on their game. And I've known Kuz for a while. I know Clint Parks, who, may not get along with LeBron, but trains Kuz, and me and Clint are friends too. And just to see the work that Kuz puts in, like, phenomenal dude.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to see what you can do with that. I know we're running out of time here, so just 2 questions, if that's all right. You mentioned you were at the premiere of Winning Time a couple of days ago, or last week, I believe. What can we expect with that? What do you think of the show so far?
It was fire. Honestly, like, I'm light-skinned, so I'm a big hater, and I love nothing more than just to hate on shit, but Adam McKay, Max Bornstein, Rodney Barnes, who Rodney actually worked on my show, Legends of Chamberlain Heights, worked on Boondocks, done a bunch of stuff. I mean, Rodney, stuff in the comic space, and is a fan of Hoop. Trayvon Free, who's an Oscar winner for Two Distant Strangers, I know was also a part of the writing staff on that show. So it hit. It slaps. It's definitely it's tough because when it's a show like the Lakers is going to be so elevated in terms of your expectations of just what it's going to be, because Showtime was larger than life. Like, but that show is going to be dominant. It's tough because the Lakers aren't performing as well as they should. Like, if the Lakers are number 1 in the league, like, that show's going to win an Emmy.
We need this as Lakers fans.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But now I think it's going to have the opposite effect. It's kind of like when The Last Dance came out. It was middle of a pandemic. We're going through a pandemic as Lakers fans. So we need something to take our mind off of us. Everybody's going to watch Winning Time.
Yeah. Probably exactly. One of our most anticipated shows, for sure.
Excited for that, and you set us up for a nice little team. We might actually have Rodney Barnes on here soon, actually. So looking forward to talking with him. We've got some connections there, so hope we can piece that together. So excited for that. Excited for the show, and looks like it's going to be a great thing. My last question, going the opposite way, we talked a whole bunch of basketball and things, but we just actually listened a month ago the Rams won the Super Bowl. Just wanted to ask you, where do the Rams now rank in the LA sports hierarchy? I know it's one ring, but where are they now? Are they moving up anywhere? Are they still at the bottom? Like, what? I don't even see no Rams jerseys out anymore. It's been a month since they won. So what you think?
Tough. I'm a Raiders fan, but obviously we love sports in LA. SoFi Stadium is phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's hard because when I look at Rams, I think about Anaheim. I think about the old days when they were playing out there. Like, never really fully embraced them as a squad, but they're here now. They got a bunch of legends on the team: Jalen Ramsey, OBJ, Aaron Donald. They got a crew of dudes, Von Miller, who you have to rock with. So it's hard, man. I don't know. They're above the Sparks now, so they might have just that Super Bowl. They just jumped the Sparks, but yeah, I don't know if LA is ever going to fully accept them. This is a Raider city, and even though the Raiders are long gone and now in Vegas, it's going to be tough. But having said all that, I've been to a few Rams games. I definitely love the atmosphere there. Love the squad, Sean McVay, everything they got going on. So you want to see an LA team win. Definitely never the Chargers. If it's Rams or Chargers, you already know. Like, Chargers not getting in. Like, unfortunately, sorry, Sean Merriman and everybody else. Like, but we're just not, we're not built to rock with y'all. It's an SDLA beef that's been going on for years and years and years. Back to the Mission days with Junipero Será and everything going on back then. Like, this beef has been going on for a minute.
It's tough. It's tough when every major sports team has 2 in LA. It's tough for the Rams to crack that now after coming from St. Louis too and all that stuff.
For sure.
winning helps for sure. Maybe if they can win a couple more chips, they can climb in the hierarchy.
Right.
They got like two more Super Bowls. They good.
Alec, you have any final question for him?
No, I think we pretty much covered most all of it. Yeah.
The thing I like to do, I'll throw this in at the very end. We talked about the sports and all that. Last thing, I like talking about music sometimes. Who you listen? Any music you listen to right now? Anybody in your playlist you of note?
I'm a square man. So literally, I went to a couple Super Bowl parties, saw Lil Baby and Gunna, and I'm not gonna say like I'm the biggest fan of both them dudes, but as they perform, like, oh wait, I know that song. But I'm out the game. I got 2 little kids and shit, so I'm heavy in like Baby Shark and everything that they're watching and listening to. So I don't really get to tap in. Like I'm excited for the new Kanye. But just it's tough too because I'm also like, damn, Kanye's older than me, so we got like the way we used to look at dudes, and we're like my parents' generation. That's literally what's happening now. So I know these young kids ain't rocking with it like that. So it's hard. It's hard being old, fellas. Enjoy your youth.
No, you're still with us, and again, just with that, just again, I appreciate you so much for joining this, man. Definitely an honor to have you on. I appreciate all your insight and all things you continue to do. Look forward to all that's next, all your shows you keep on doing. It's amazing to see what you continue to do in the sports world there. So again, appreciate you coming on, and yeah, thank you, man. Honestly, appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. Let's do it again soon. This is second time we need to get that 3-peat after another Lakers championship.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, we're going to get it right after the championship.
A playing championship at least. Playing champions.
Let's win a series first. Let's win a game first, actually. God.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, that's it. We're going to get up out of here. Again, it's your boy G, along with Alec. Another episode of Section 300. Follow us online, IG and TikTok, Section.300. Twitter at Section of the Sports. Just say G online. Lakers Fan 24 for Alec there. Like, review, subscribe, all of that kind of good stuff for us. And we'll see you guys again very soon. Appreciate you. Peace, man.
Deuces.